Hey there, welcome to my channel. This is Jill Moore Smith, also known as a Savvy Servant, also known as a nonprofit expert. So if you're trying to grow your nonprofit or start a nonprofit, this is definitely the channel you want to hang out on. Haven't been here in a while. I've been doing other things, but I'm here. I primarily help nonprofit leaders, founders, and leaders who are trying to secure that grant funding, that six-figure grant funding. So whether you're just starting out or you're well established, it's my honor to show you and to teach you everything I know about nonprofit development and management. I have tons and tons of experience in nonprofit management and development, um, uh, primarily from the funders, from the federal funders' point of view. I worked for the federal government for 10 years as a program manager, where I had oversight over nearly 60 nonprofit grantees. I was also a grant proposal reviewer and writer for the federal government. I managed a multi-million dollar grant for state government. I'm a grant writer. I've also maintained leadership positions in nonprofit industries, grassroots, as well as well established trade associations. So I'm pretty well rounded when it comes to this nonprofit thing. So yeah, I've been a little MIA, and because I've gotten married, I am 1 year in. We celebrated our first anniversary in April, and so about a week or two ago, we came back from a wonderful two week vacation. Um, to Cabo and to Puerto Vallarta, and so I am back in the swing of things, and I just wanted to come on and talk about not letting the vision die. Don't let your vision die. Um, yeah. And let me just say this: even though I have not been here, even though I have not been doing a lot of work with the Savvy Servant, because my husband and I, we're building our real estate business, and that's been taking up a lot of our focus and our attention and time. The Savvy Servant is still going strong. It's just that I had to pivot the way I operate the Savvy Servant. And let me tell you something that is so key, and it's so it's a transparency moment, but it's also what I'm telling you to do is something that I have to do. So I particularly wanted to talk about not letting your vision die, because two things. One is that, my clients ain't letting the Savvy Servant die. I still serve clients, not a lot. I'm very selective now who I provide coaching to. I have clients that are long time standing clients that I've been working with years and years and years and years, that have contributed to the success of the Savvy Servant. And so I still work with those selected clients. And so they're not letting me die. They're not going to let me die. They're not going to let this vision that God gave me. Oh my God, it's been a long time since 2010. I saw a need for those struggling nonprofits. There's lots of money out there, federal dollars out there for nonprofits. I was a program manager for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, where I was over nearly 60 nonprofit grantees. I was also a grant proposal reviewer and panel facilitator for the federal government for various HHS programs. And so HHS is the largest grantor, federal grantor, and so tons of money out there, billions of dollars out there for nonprofits. But a lot of nonprofits don't realize that. They know that the money is out there, they don't know how to access it. So I saw a need in 2010, and so I first developed as a marketing company, because the thing back then, social media wasn't a thing. And so just showing nonprofits how to market themselves so that they can get access to more money. And so now that social media has been on the rise. Now just really, really, showing them how to build capacity with, or showing you how to build capacity with your nonprofit so that you can secure those funds. And so that's always been my vision. I'm a servant leader at heart. Um, God gave me this vision, and it can't die. So my clients won't let it die. But the other thing, when I was first dating my husband, we were in the dating phases. I went into the mindset that I was going to let the savvy servant dissolve out. I was going to let it dissolve. Because I knew that, when you come into agreement with someone, you come into partnership, you know, he have his vision and his business doing his thing. You have your vision, me having my vision, doing my thing with the savvy servant will cause division. And so I didn't want that. So I was very much willing to dissolve my business without him even knowing it. And we started having conversations, and he was like, no, no, I see the vision. He's met friends. We've met solid lifelong friends, through the business. And so he said, no, I'm supporting the savvy servant in whatever way I can. I don't want you to let the savvy servant go. He let some of his projects go, and so that we can come together and build our real estate business. But he was like, no, I see your passion in this. I see your heart in this, and it's more than just a business. I do believe that I'm a socialpreneur. I'm a servant leader. We both are. And so he saw that, and we were having a conversation one time, and I told him, I said, had you said, without me telling him, had he said, you need to get rid of that business, I probably wouldn't have. But the fact that he said, don't get rid of it, it made me, just more wanting to, pivot in how I do business, because the savvy servant, I was doing a lot. It took a lot of my time. And so I wanted to express to you not to let the vision die. If I did not let the savvy servant die, don't you let your vision of starting that nonprofit and continuing that nonprofit, don't let it die. There are people out here who need you as just as much as people who need the savvy servant. But sometimes it calls for you to pivot and to redo some things. That's why having a strategic, meeting every year is very key. You got to be around like-minded people. You got to be around people who, understand your vision, who are kind of, doing some of the same things that you're doing. Because you need to be around, people that's going to help fuel you. And so thank God that my clients are, sometimes they don't realize my clients motivate me, more than they say I motivate them. But don't let your vision die. Sometimes it calls for, as I said, just pivoting. Sometimes it calls for, gleaning from someone, maybe this channel. Sometimes it calls for, needing some coaching. Sometimes it calls, is a cause for putting it aside for a moment so that you can refocus. But don't let it die. If you are called to it, especially if you believe God has called you to help people, that though the vision tarry, sometimes you just need to just wait for a moment until you can get some clarity on how to move forward. But you cannot let it die, because people are attached to your vision and to what God has called you to do. And so I know that firsthand. Thank God that, as I said, I have support from so many different people that, that the savvy servant cannot die. Even when, I mean, when I tell you, when my business hit six figures, this is before the pandemic, when it hit that, I was thinking about how the time I was putting into the savvy servant. And so I don't have that time anymore, because I have a whole husband now. I have a whole husband. And then we're doing other things. And so, but it just calls now, and I have to, not take on as many clients, or if I take on clients now, I'm doing more group coaching. So I'm putting, I'm teaming up clients, which has worked perfectly, because the the groups can glean from each other. So instead of doing a lot of one-on-ones, I have my set core one-on-ones. I have 5 core one-on-ones that I do. Again, these clients have been with me for years. And then I have group coaching, and then I have a lot of my training now on autopilot. So that's the way I am still making the savvy servant, live, keep going. We just renewed, my husband and I just renewed the business with the state. So we're here. We're here. Is now more. I added my husband. He is now co-owner. Of course, I have more ownership, but now the way we've done our businesses, we've merged everything. So he's now co-owner, even though he don't know what's going on, how to do the savvy servant, none of that. But on paper, he's there. So yeah. So sometimes it just calls for strategizing. I was just meeting with 2 of my clients back in March, I believe. March, we had a strategic session. They came down to Charlotte from Maryland, and we spent the entire weekend together. We played a lot, but we definitely had our time where we did our strategy session. Their 7-figure nonprofit venture. And I say that to say, I bring them up to say that they have a lot of projects that they're doing that they want to do. And so just trying to help them, pivot. Sometimes again, it's just about pivoting. Don't let it die. Just refocus, just re-strategize. And so you definitely want to consider that before you put, letting all of your uh, time and effort and resources, just go out the door. More importantly, you have people attached to it. You have people attached to it. There are lives that literally that you could be saving if you would just follow through with your vision, whatever it is, whether it's a nonprofit, if you're on here and you're not doing a nonprofit, whether it's a podcast or whatever that vision is that God gave you, do not let it die. And so thank God. Even when I remember, like especially last year, I was on hiatus for 8 months, and I didn't, my clients, my longstanding clients, most of them were at the wedding, so they knew what, I was transitioning into married life, and so they understood that I didn't meet with any clients. I didn't even answer the Savvy Servant email, none of that. But I was still, the business was still rolling. I was still, toolkits were still being sold without me being there. Everything is automated. Well, most of my business is automated. Of course, I wasn't doing any YouTube videos. Um, I wasn't doing any one-on-one clients, but my point was, expenses were still coming out. I was still paying, all of the tools and stuff that I use that runs the Savvy Servant, renewing, my, with the Secretary of State, that was still being filed, of course, doing my taxes and all of that, the business was still operating behind the scenes. And so, I could not let it die. And thank God again that I have a supportive husband that he's like, no, you can't let it die. I see your passion in this. I see the lives you're helping. I see the friends that, he has, as I said, he's come to establish a relationship with. And so I'm here to encourage you. Don't let your vision die. Don't let your vision die. Don't let your vision die. If you have any questions, of course you can click the link in the bottom. If you want to follow me and see what else I'm doing besides the Savvy Servant, I'm gonna link my husband and I. We have a YouTube channel that is popping. I don't want to say it's popping. There's not a lot of subscribers, But the subscribers we do have, they're very engaging. So I'll leave that link at the bottom as well if you want to follow us and our love story. Got married, at 52 years old, never had been married, never had any children, and I refused to settle. He refused to settle, and so we tell all of our story on our YouTube channel. Our real estate business is growing, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to try to come back a little bit more often on a YouTube, because that's the least I can do is give you 15-20 minutes, giving you some tips or whatever. But um, definitely nonprofit training, uh, grant. I have a great grant proposal tutorial. And I'm going to put a discount down there. So I'm going to put the link. The grant proposal tutorial is $497, but I'll do a 20% discount. I got to remember to put that link down there, but I'm going to do a 20% discount because that grant proposal template is a very, very profitable for a lot of people, very beneficial, I should say, very beneficial for a lot of clients. I have a whole video on walking you through how to write your grant proposal. Of course, the template is in there as well. I give you all the language, everything you need to say in the video, of how to secure that that government funding. And let me tell you something: if you can write a federal government grant proposal, you can write any type of grant proposal, whether it's for foundations, whether it's for state or even city. If you can write that, then so I'm giving you all of the quote unquote secrets to what you need to put in that proposal. I'm laying it out again. The video is there to walk you step by step what to do, what not to do. The tools are in there, and so yes, so I'll give you 20% off. I'll put the link at the bottom, and yeah, I'm gonna check in more often. I promise. I promise. I promise. I promise. All right, because I'm reading y'all's emails from my website. I'm reading your emails, and so as I said, I've been called to serve, and so I don't want to leave you hanging. Um, I refuse to let the vision die, so you not let the vision die either. All right. So if your vision dying is relying on me, I gotta do my job. All right. So there you have it. Again, I'll check in more often, and I'll put the links at the bottom. You all be blessed, and I will see you maybe in a few days. All right. Bye bye.